with the inflation and everything that's going on,
like
and,
it's almost,
and mental health. I think everybody's just like existing at this point. Like, what are we doing?
And also, how do you do it? Because the formula of how it used to work, it's not working anymore. So now you're like, well, this is what I know. This is what I've always done. When did it change? And how do I shift with it? What do I do?
That's it, that's all. That's it, that's all. Tell me how you feel. That's it, that's all. That's it, that's all. Black excellence at its finest. How that skin glows, she's a true diamond. With the world at her back, she's still smiling. Never let that crown till she stays thriving. That's it, that's all. That's it, that's all. Keep it real. That's it, that's all. That's it, that's all. Is that really it though?
What up, what up, what up? This is Daz It Daz All, and I'm your host, KC Carnage, as you know. And we got the usual suspects on the show. You know, I got my girls, Breona.
Hey.
And we got Nikki.
Hola.
And today I want to talk about, like life has been lifing, y'all. And I don't know if y'all have been going through like a lot of stuff. I don't know what you call it would be Mercury or retrograde, whatever y'all want to call it. But life has been lifing. So I wanted to talk about today about having the hard conversations. And I'm not talking about just having the hard conversations with the people around you, but also having the hard conversations with yourself. Especially like, I don't know about anybody else, but personally, I feel like life has really been taking a toll on me, whether it was personal or finances or friendship or love. Like I feel like this week I've had to have a lot of hard conversations, and it's kind of hard when you're an ambitious person and things just feel like they're not falling into place, and you actually have to take the time to actually like take that veil off and really ask yourself, are you actually doing everything in your power that you can be doing? And then once you stop lying to yourself and that answer is no, it is a really tough pill to swallow. And you know what I mean? Like, and I found myself asking God a lot this week, like, is this the life that you like? I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't believe that this is the life you had planned for me. Like, what is up? What do I need? And I've had several conversations this week that kind of like put a lot of things in perspective. And like, let's just jump into it. So one of my first questions I want to ask, like, and if y'all have any, out there in the metaverse or out there in the universe, if y'all have any questions, y'all want to answer these questions too, I would definitely like to get some feedback on it. But why do we put off the hard conversations until like we either explode or it's just too late? Why do you think that is?
I feel like sometimes it's, like, again, life be life, and sometimes you just don't have the time to have those conversations. Also, some people just don't like confrontation, or you don't know the ways to say it so that the person could possibly receive it, because sometimes people just don't like to receive any type of criticism or any type of, and so sometimes it's just easier just to, like, all right, whatever. It is what it is. We'll talk about it.
Which can also cause anxiety, because hard conversations is anxiety, and we're already anxious about 50 million other things. Yeah. We're just like, I can't be anxious about this right now. I
don't want to think about it right now.
And you think to come back to it, and you kind of don't, because when the times are good, you kind of be like, oh, I love her. Like, I'm having a good time. I fuck it. And then, you just shit boils and boils, and
And it's stuff be stacking. It's like
you don't mean it to.
It don't mean it. You definitely don't mean it to. And it's also like, I think like Bri said about like, you feeling like you have that inkling, like somebody do something, it's the side eye, and then somebody's doing like, oh, I'm not gonna answer her text, or I'm not gonna answer his text, and then that's the next thing you know, you see them and they like next to you, you just looking at them and you trying to keep composure, and you're like, and then next thing you know, it like you are truly wailing out, like you're wailing out, and it's like not even like, and it's sad because
how
people,
did I get here?
Like, how did I get here? Like,
how did we even get here?
It's like almost too like, like, how do we honor ourselves in those hard conversations as well?
It's literally just like you just said. You're gonna have to look at yourself and be like, look, what's best for me? And what's best for me is probably talking about the situation. If it doesn't go how I want it to go, if it goes left or whatever, am I okay with severing this relationship if it comes to that? Which is probably a big thing too. It's like, if this doesn't go, because you always obviously don't know how the other person's going to respond to whatever you have to say. They could take it well, they could take it terribly. So there's also a chance of that relationship going sour, and sometimes going through that grief of losing that relationship is something you don't want to go through either. So it's like, damn, like, what do you do? But at the end of the day, you still have to do what's best for you, because it's going to hurt either way. Whether you stay in something that you haven't addressed, or whether you do it and it doesn't go the way you planned. So
I feel it. I don't know, like this week, you know, like we had a hard conversation in our friend group this week, and it was a lot. Like, people tensions was high because I feel like everybody had their own version of what was going on.
Right.
And I know Nikki mentioned about like just not talking to each other, but it's also that thing, it's just kind of like, y'all my booze. Like, what I'm feeling right now to convey what I want to feel, like it's like I gotta keep face really in the front, but I'm screaming inside and I'm knocking shit over inside. And how do I convey what I'm thinking versus what I'm feeling, and still honor what I'm feeling without having to think about, is this going to affect or hurt somebody else? That is a very hard like thing to kind of like get over, because, you know, like, you do want to lead with love, but you're angry at the same time.
Which is why sometimes I think obviously we shouldn't let too much time goes by, because then you're stacking and stacking and stacking on many things that people probably don't remember no more. And it's not fair to just come at me with all this. And that's even more anxious and even more overwhelming. So I would say wait a little till we're not angry, but who's to say how long that is?
Right.
You know, but it's just how we have to learn how to just have those conversations to say, hey, so this kind of bothered me. I want to talk to you about this. Can we? And even if they don't receive it well, we did what we need to do.
Right.
If they don't receive it well, it's showing us how to move forward with this person. It's giving us the answers we need, but we did what we needed to do, and that's all we can do. Right. But we do have to do it, and it is hard because we don't want to deal with the anxiety of it. We're anxious, like everybody's fucking anxious. Yeah. Like, it's just so. And
I had that moment that you was like, "How do I do it when I want to just knock shit over?" I had that moment. I blew up, but then I had to go back and realize, like, these are people that I love. These are people that I care about, and my intention was never to hurt you or hurt feelings. And so I had to go back and apologize to all of y'all. But like, look, I'm apologize for my delivery. I was emotional. It was in the moment. I do love y'all, but we do need to have a conversation, because obviously I was holding in some stuff that I've been holding in for too long. But at the end of the day, you still have to realize that these are people that you care about, and how you talk to them and how you say things matter. So I had to, step back and apologize, and and regroup, and then we came together and said,
I think that, like, I feel like I'm a firm believer, and y'all let me know if y'all believe this too or not believe it, but I'm a firm believer in when life is telling you that you need to make a change, it makes you really uncomfortable. Like, it makes you so uncomfortable to the fact that, like, everything was like like this past couple of days, like, everything has been triggering me, from talking to my boo to talking to y'all to talking to my family. Like, I've literally been on pins and needles, because I feel like I had a moment where I was just like, what is happening? What am I doing? Why am I not where I'm supposed to be? Why isn't my show getting the real, like, the views that I know it deserves? Or why am I not getting booked the way I used to? Like, it was a lot, like, dealing with like my boyfriend moving, having that hard conversation as far as, like, well, where are we going to go? And are we going to continue this? And this is the realization of your life versus my life. And, and just, like, it was just a lot. And then also too, like, dealing with my space, like, like, I take on a lot of responsibilities, not only for myself, but for my family, for my friends. I take on a lot. So, like, it really came to a head, and I had to have a conversation with myself, like, yo, we got to come up with a plan. And are you doing everything on your plan? Have you become complacent? Because there is a little bit in me that, like, I feel like at the age that I am and what I've done in life, that I have been coasting for a while, and that's never been me. But I also have had the duality of feeling like I don't know if I have any more in me to keep pushing. like,
yeah. I mean, so if we're moving, so I am very okay with being still. So I feel like that sometimes too, where I'm like, I'm not this busy bee. I need to work hard. I need to have this and this and this going on. I do like things to look forward to, but I'm okay with being very still. As Bri's mother says, I am the type where I will let grass grow up under me, because I am still. I like chilling. I'm very low maintenance. Don't get me wrong, like, I don't mind having like a little business for myself and whatever, but I don't dream of labor. I don't want to work hard. I don't want to work hard as Beyonce. I love that for Beyonce, who got Beyonce money. I don't want to do that. I don't.
Do you ever feel like your life isn't moving as fast as you want it to be? Like, do you ever feel like, okay, well, regardless of whether you chill or not, there has to be something that you want to achieve, right? Do you feel like in your stillness, does it give you anxiety that you're not achieving what you think?
And I feel guilty about it all the time, but I also feel, I know there are people who are working their asses off and they still don't have enough. And that's what makes me go, because sometimes it makes you think, are you lazy? And it's like, no. I don't mind doing the work, but also what is the reward of it? I still want to feel like I'm getting what I need from doing all this work, because I know so many people working hard and they're still not ahead. They're still struggling. 2 jobs are not enough. Everything is just not enough. And that makes you hesitant, where you just lose faith in, why am I getting up every day? Why am I trying? And then you just kind of, I don't want to say quit, but the strength that you need to get up and do it every day, it just gets lost, because you're just like, what is this for?
Just existing.
What is the reason? It's like I'm just here to get up and pay bills and wake up and do it all over again with people I don't want to be around, and things I can't enjoy, the things I want to do
right now, going with inflation and everything that's going on,
like,
and,
it's almost,
and mental health. I think everybody's just like existing at this point. Like, what are we doing?
And also, how do you do it? Because the formula of how it used to work, it's not working anymore. So now you're like, well, this is what I know. This is what I've always done. When did it change? And how do I shift
and
with
that's
it?
Real talk.
What do I do?
That was another thing about my anxiety. So like, okay, so y'all know my background. Y'all my friends. Y'all know my background. Like, I had no problem getting a regular job before. Like, I can send my resume in. I'd have 5 interviews lined up. But because I took a different path for a little bit, there's a gap in my resume that I'm just kind of like, did I miss out on like being able to catch myself in my net? And if that net is gone, what the fuck do I do now?
That fucking resume?
No, I mean, but I'm just saying, like, these were the thoughts that was coming.
The skills still there.
The skills are still there. Absolutely. The skills are still there. But when it comes down to, like Nikki was saying, about what used to work and what doesn't work, you go to a former employer, they're looking at like, okay, well, your last quote unquote real job was in 2016 and it's 2023. It's like, what have you been doing?
COVID happened?
Right. But in the instant, I mean, that's the reality of the fact. You know what I mean? Like, for us that has freelance and have learned to like make money other ways, it doesn't make sense to us.
Yes. For creators especially, we're very confused, because the formula of what we used to do for ourselves, it's changed. And it's like, how do I move with the change? You're trying to, but also just doesn't work for you, or you do and it's still not working, but it's working for somewhere else, and you're just like, well, what am I doing wrong? What do I need to do? And then with social media, it's changing so much, and it seems like to be it needs to be negative. Whatever is clickbait, whatever is views, whatever is negative, whatever gets people feathers ruffled, that's what seems to be at the top right now. It's not even just your art can be good and you just go off that. You can't. It has to be controversial. You did something crazy and now people are seeing your shit. And it's like, I don't like that feeling either as an artist. I don't want to be in the tabloids that way. I just want to do what I do. I don't want to be on the headlines for y'all to see in a crazy way. I don't want that.
I don't want to be crazy.
I don't.
And it's so funny because like I was talking to Zion the other day, and we got into a deep conversation about how like women, like I don't even want to say good women and bad women. I don't want to use those terms, but they were talking about like, women that are, strippers or whatever the case may be, or like former hoes, quote unquote,
like sex workers,
like not necessarily sex workers, but like like the Cardi B's of the world, like that came up, and just kind of like, it was just like when you have the woman that is working in government or whatever the case may be. That's why I said it's a tricky
like career woman.
Her come up is truly one of the most iconic
career. No, that's what I'm saying. It's like the duality of like whatever. But if you're like a regular woman, I keep using the quotes because it's not necessarily what I think. It's just lack of a better terms.
I got what you're trying to say.
It's like women that don't have BBLs, are natural bodies, and have like regular jobs.
Kind of vanilla, but not
like
really vanilla.
Exactly. Yeah. They're getting pushed to the side, even though those are good women, and they're teaching younger women that you got to be scheming. Every man is a trick, and all this stuff like that. Right. And unfortunately, when we look on the TV and stuff like that, that's all you see. So like, what are our daughters learning? You know what I mean? Like, are we? Like, is the wave gonna be maybe go to college or not go to college? And it's like that's tricky.
Yeah, that's why I've been hearing why Sexy Red's come up is so controversial to some people, because it's like, even for a darker skinned woman, we have all these lighter skinned women in rap that are getting pushed, here because they're lighter skinned, and then if you bring out sexy red or dark skinned women, this is what's representing us. So it's like a controversial
thing
comment. I mean,
Right.
yeah, it's
a thing because it's like
I'm scared. We ain't
are
gonna have
we
no doctors.
winning?
We ain't gonna have
right,
no
like
But also, is that
Everybody
just
wanna be
portrayed
social
in media,
media.
or is that real life? Because I feel
But
like
I
in
mean-
real life, social media in real life and the perceptions are very different.
that's relative because if you think about it now, social media is real life to people. Like, and that is the relativity of it because like to us who have tread the line of without social media and with social media, like we're the
And
last
school
of
and-
still knowing what a house phone is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Still remembering what a telephone is. So we still have those kind of like memories of we can tread both. We can be ratchet.
Like, we're older
and we
than
can do
Google.
that stuff
Google
like
just turned
that. You know
25
what I
years
mean?
ago.
Like we can do that, but it's also to like there are girls coming up, like these girls coming up that social media is
It's
their
their
life.
life.
It
Definitely,
is their
yeah.
life. So it's like what's to say that like how do we figure out that formula? Like what is that formula for a quote unquote regular girl? You know what I mean? Or a woman that is not BBL and doesn't look like that or whatever the case may be. How do they feel like they can still win and still be loved and
be
still
represented.
be represented?
Yeah.
And those are the things that people get challenged with when you are talking to yourself in the mirror. Like that shit gets down. Like you like I don't know what conversations y'all have with y'all selves, but sometimes it's like I know that I'm pretty, I know that I'm smart and stuff like that. But I do know that if I had all of this and a fat ass or was a
'cause
couple
even in
shades
porn,
later,
it's
you know what I mean?
different.
Like you know what I mean? A couple shades later,
Even-
I'd be way
yeah.
further
Even
than
in
I am
porn,
now.
it's
Yeah.
different. I think the kind of sex that's expected in porn has changed because of sex work. Like now, men just come up to you and just look at your coochie and say "squirt," and it's like that's not how.
True. I'm like, you ain't done nothing to turn me on.
And also, vaginas
Coochie just ain't gonna just be wet because you say so.
And I know they've seen OnlyFans girls and we're just squirting and peeing up a storm, and they just think that's what it is. So also, like, social media has also changed how sex is. Even just dating, everything,
yeah.
it definitely has changed.
It's
A lot of
Everything's
things.
like ready, microwave, like everything's
microwave
just supposed to
popcorn,
be-
pop.
Instant gratification. We all just want
chemistry's
instant
supposed to be there. The
gratification.
bride's supposed to be there. He ain't got to do no work. You're supposed. I'm supposed to be just turned on and just
And
ready.
music too. Music also
Music
has a
is
huge
trash.
Jesus, I ain't hiding
music
ready.
has a huge effect on dating and how men approach women, how they see women, and women are
social
standing
media
up
too,
and
these
saying,
podcasts.
Yeah.
These podcasts coming up, and it's always we can never just have healthy conversations. It's always men against women, and the
truly,
conversation of dating and broke and who should pay for what and roles. And I'm just like, damn, why everything gotta be a battle on black
Like, it
women
works
against
for
white,
how it works for
black
you.
men
There's no
against
right
black
or wrong
women. I'm
answer.
just
Whatever
like,
works for
tired.
you is how it works. Do
Correct.
that.
Find
Stop
somebody.
telling me
Somebody's gonna believe whatever system. If you believe that man's supposed to pay all the bills,
and that's your life and that works for you. Do that.
there is a man out there that will pay all your bills. Find him, marry him, and shut the fuck up. If you believe as a man it's supposed to be 50-50, there's a girl out there willing
Who's
to pay
with
50-50.
that? Do that.
It ain't me.
Shut
but,
up.
but there's a girl out there for you.
Child, I'm tired. But okay, so the next question I have is like, why is it so hard to let things go that your mind, your body, and your soul is telling you to let go?
Change is scary, and it's easy just to be comfortable, being things that are familiar and things that we're used to. It's like, I don't want to let this go. Like, I'm used to it. Like, I don't want to start over. I don't want to relearn. So it's just like dating. When you leave a partner, it's like,
You're
yeah,
just
I'm
tired.
sick of this motherfucker.
When we're
but I
young,
really
we
don't want to.
What's your favorite color? What do you like to do for fun?
But I don't want to fucking answer those.
Over and over
I don't want to
again.
do
We're just
that.
I don't want to do it. I don't
We're
want
just
to do
tired.
it.
We've
I
done
literally
it.
had a fucking notes in my phone of copy answers already just talking copy from, and I'm tired of like retyping
I'm not
this
telling a
shit
nigga
over
my
and
favorite
over.
color.
What do I
Wait,
like to do for fun?
I'm not
Go
telling
back.
a nigga my favorite color.
Go back.
In my
You
notes,
copy and paste.
I had notes of common questions that I get asked on dating apps. What do you like to do for fun? I already had one. Copy paste.
Do you smoke or drink?
I had already answers ready.
kind of
I was
niggas you
tired
like?
of answering those questions over and over and having to type out paragraphs.
Do you
answering
squirt?
the same shit?
I swear, yo, like we could never have a serious conversation without somebody talking about they squirt or they coochie. I understand.
No,
it.
men
but
are
we here. I'm
just,
just joking.
I mean, everything's over sexualized. You can't open
Everything
Instagram
is
now without a girl
over-sexualized.
shaking her coochie and her ass. I'm like, God damn.
No, it's
I'm
funny
like,
that you.
So everything's hypersexualized, so it's so hard to not be horny because everything's fucking
And
sex.
we're just horny.
Right.
But also
And it's-
everything's sex. Like you can't even turn on the TV without seeing sex. Everything's sex. Or Instagram, my whole For You page is ass. How, Sway? Ass. I'm not complaining necessarily, but like,
Well, I mean,
can
I
I see
feel you
something
now.
else?
Even as a sex worker on my timeline,
it's a lot.
sometimes there's just so much porn because I know I'm a sex worker and obviously I do porn. I post it too, but sometimes I'm like, oh my god, I need a break. It's
It's
just
too
porn,
much.
suck a dick,
It's too
ass,
much.
ass, green, squirt, ass,
But
dick, and I'm
but
just like,
that's
oh my
a
god,
sign,
I just want to
No,
see
I feel you on that.
something else.
That's part of the reason why I don't want to have kids. I don't want to raise my kids in this mess. Raise kids in this mess. It's too much.
I know, I feel you on that. Like we were talking, like I tell you, y'all, I had some conversations this week. I was literally in my room that day, like under the cover. Like I think I was
me too.
in my bed under the cover for like 10 hours straight. Like I think I got up to pee, I got up to eat once, and I was in the bed. We had a conversation, my partner and I, like he's moving, and we were talking about like how things were going to work. And so I was just like, his response was very realistic, my response was very emotional, because there was things that like I wanted him to say, even though he was telling me the truth, and my brain understood, but my heart couldn't, because I wasn't hearing the things that I wanted to hear. And so, but in turn, once you sit on it for a little bit, it was what I needed to hear. You know what I mean? Like, because it's like, one thing that I can say about the guy that I'm dating now is very adult. Like, it's a very adult relationship that I haven't been in a while, where it's not like fight or flee, just got to cut. Like, you really got to figure some shit out. And one of the things that he mentioned about what he wanted in his life versus what my life is, he was just like, I don't like the fact that you're in the nightlife. Like I just, it's like, you do it. He's like, I support it. Like, he's like, you're an entertainer. It's what you have to do. But it bothers me. He said, because in my life, I get up at 5 o'clock every morning. I eat healthy. I go to the gym. I'm in bed by 9 o'clock. And the way I want my life to be is not what your life. I'm not stopping you. And I know that's what you have to do, but how do we make that work? You know what I mean? Like, how do we, especially now that we're so far away, because now we're in a 2-hour time difference. It's like you'll be out. I can't really check on you now. You know what I'm saying? So it was like a lot of this. And my thing was, well,
I don't know here.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. And my thing was like, I think my emotional state was, I'm not trying to do this all over again with nobody. But I also don't want to sacrifice what I have to achieve based on what I know my purpose is. Correct. So how do I figure that out? So that was giving me a lot of turmoil, because it wasn't like, the conversation was very much like this, but this, but. And I heard the buts as no, but his butt was like the butt. When he explained what his buts were, it was more so the buts are, these are the things we have to figure out. Like, these are big things. Like, there was a couple other things that I don't need to like divulge, but like his buts, my emotional state heard his buts as no, but my logical and rational mind heard it as, these are things that we have to work on, especially now that we are going to be in 2 separate states. How do we work these things out? Not saying that the door is closed, but realistically, I know you and you know me. So what do we do here? So it was a lot. It was a lot, because I had to ask myself, in that state, like, am I willing to sacrifice a lot? Because I would be asking him to sacrifice a lot too. And I have been moving in life with no real sacrifices, especially in my relationships. It was what I want, what I'm going to do, and you're going to have to deal with it. Like, you know what I mean? But also too, I've also never had anybody challenge me in a way to actually think about, like, okay, I do want kids. You know what I mean? I mean, I don't necessarily think that they were necessarily afraid of me. It was just more so like, I didn't care enough.
You're very it's hard to tell you no, because like, you're very matter of fact. Like, I'm like, I always say, like, people's like at work, like, how does Casey sell so much? I'm like, because she don't ask them what they want, she tell them what they want. Like she not asking. So
I mean, it's a gift, but
yeah, I mean,
but you know what I mean? Like, and it put a lot of perspective in me, and had to have a conversation with me. Like, yes, I want to have a family. Yes, I want kids. Are my actions and the things that I'm doing currently is inducive to the life that I'm saying that I want to have? You know what I mean? So it was a lot. It was a lot to deal with. I was like, I don't know necessarily what the future holds. I don't have necessarily the answers yet. But that was a big conversation. And that led into, okay, what else are there holes in my life that I have to be completely honest with myself about? Because something right now is a block. There's a block happening around me. Like, and that goes for like what we're surrounding ourselves with. What are we doing in our spare time? How are we, like, what conversations are we having when we're with the people that we're with? Are they enriching our minds? Are we talking about businesses? Are we talking about, what are we talking about? And that, it really, like these past couple of days, I've really been sitting in myself. Like, I felt kind of crazy, but also felt like I was looking at me. Like, all right, this is it. Like, this is it, because I'm not getting any younger. You know, I'm only getting, moving. I'm not saying that being older will stop my life, but I do have to think about certain shit in this point of my life that I didn't have to 5 years ago. Yeah. You know? And so, like, I don't know, like, have you guys had any, like, hard conversations you've had to have with yourself, or that you have to have been working through lately?
Yeah. I mean, like, we all live in LA, and realistically, if we're going to be real, we are just getting by. We don't have real money with any real assets or savings. Like, so at our age, we have to think, like, okay, how long do I want to be here? What am I working towards? Do I want to start building? Do I need to move somewhere else that's a little bit cheaper? Because LA is bad expensive. I think I'm at a point where even when I was going to move, before I thought about moving with my boyfriend, I thought, okay, so if I stay here, what are you doing? You're going to get another apartment that's overpriced. You're paying $40,000, $50,000 a year in rent to not own anything. Like, what do you know what I mean? Like, and which is fine, because not everybody's goal is a house, depending on their lifestyle, because I'm a very singular person. I don't know if I really want a house, but sometimes I think, hey, sometimes it's not about you. You think, I want a house, so if someone else needs a space, I have that space to provide for them. So maybe I'm getting a house for that reason, if it's not family or I got kids or whatever. So yeah, like, you really have to sit and just think, like, okay, how long am I going to do this? I had fun. I've been here. So what am I doing now? Am I doing the work? Even though sometimes mentally it feels like we're doing the work, which drains us physically, we really didn't do anything. Just thinking about doing something is hard too, because I'm like, I get drained just from thinking what I should do. Because I'm like, it's a lot. But I mean, or just even ways that I am. A mirror of, oh, maybe you could be this way. Do you not? Maybe you didn't know you this way. You don't mind not hearing that you're this way. Maybe it's the way someone told you the way you were that made you feel the way. With the conversations, with having hard conversations too, it's just a lot. And of course, when someone's saying something to us, we never want to hear anything about us that's not pleasant. It's always going to make us feel salty, like, and then later we'd be like,
dot
at the time. And then later when we sit on it, we'd be like, yeah, I do be tripping. I guess I am. Like, okay.
I did happen.
Like, I did kind of say that.
Yeah.
Okay, I shouldn't have maybe did that.
I mean, I guess. I mean, they came with good facts. They came with valid, like, they came with valid reasons and valid
You do
points.
have to sit in that space to be like, I don't give a fuck. You be like, well. And then you be like, why you have to say it like that? Which is what I had to do earlier this week. I'm like, that. I love her. Why am I talking about friend like that?
Crazy. So I was like, let me back the fuck up, because I love these people.
So yeah, just which is good. Like, it's also good to become uncomfortable, because we can get comfortable, and it's like, no, we do have to get up. We do have to get uncomfortable sometimes to be in a comfortable space we want to be in. We have to learn to be uncomfortable, and that's hard too.
Yeah, I feel like that's where I'm at right now. Like, I used to be this, constantly go-getting, constantly, feeling I had to do something, reach a goal or whatever. And I was like, damn, I'm tired of doing that. I just want to chill sometimes. So, like, I moved to LA. I got the place, things that I needed. Of course, I hustled to do that. But then I was like, all right, I just want to enjoy life a little bit. I want to travel a little bit. I want to just, I'm like tired of feeling like a workhorse all the time.
Yes.
But then now I'm at the point, like, all right, I've had a couple years to chill. I also don't want to chill too long, and then I look up, I'm 45, and
we wasted time.
And I could have used my young energy to be getting shit done. And I'm like, okay, so that's where I'm at now. I'm like, all right, Breona, what are we doing? Like, what do I want to do long term? What is the goals? Like, hustle
While
it
we
out
can
now
still
the
have
last
time
5,
to
6
smell the
years.
roses. I still want to have time to smell the
So
roses.
then when I'm
What's the
older,
balance?
then I can like really chill. You know?
Right. Because then he also brought up a point. He was just like, until I met you, I told myself I would never date an artist. He was like, it was just something about you. And I was like, why would you do that? He was like, because I always run into artists. You'd be at the bar, be a 50-year-old artist. I'm like, yeah, I'm an artist at the bar at 50. He was like,
I mean, they do it.
and I was like, and it's okay. He was like, it's okay. It's no judgment. But it's just like, that's not what I would want in a wife. So it's just kind of like which I understand. I'm not saying that I'm not gonna be in no bar at 50 talking about I'm an artist. Like shit is happening.
Does it depend on the succession of that artist? Like, does it matter? Is he speaking of someone that?
I think more so is finding the
people in
balance.
LA are
I think it's
washed up.
more
They-
so finding the balance of like
blink
if
and
you're
life
saying
can pass them by.
like one thing that I had to say, I was just like, yes, I'm a singer, but I haven't really been booked for anything in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
My main focus has been this show. So I have to either make a decision on saying that this is my job, this is what I'm going to pour all my energy into,
Yeah,
or keeping this same sad love song about what I thought I was supposed to be.
Yup,
You know
right.
what I mean? And that is a
Yup.
hard
Sometimes it
pill to
creates
swallow.
change.
Yeah,
And that's a
all
hard pill to
artists feel
swallow.
that.
You know what I mean? It's like, what is motivating you and feeding you now, or are you holding on to what used to be and what? I used to tour. Yeah, I used to be booked, whatever. But that shit ain't happening right
You ain't
now.
had a-
It's
yeah.
not. It's not happening like it was
Yeah.
before. And I feel like there is a part of me that is hoping that that'll pick up again. But there's also a part of me that also knows, if I have to be completely honest, that. Yes, I love to perform, but that shit was stressful. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like I was in a void. I don't know if it was because like I was always managing everything or whatever, and I couldn't necessarily truly live in the music. I was always doing, but I also have to realize, Kay, you were good at the management stuff. That's what made you push, to be completely
You can
honest.
sell a cracker to a cockroach. You definitely got to get the bag.
Right out the bag.
A cracker to a cockroach. You got to
Right
get
out
the
the bag.
gab.
But that was hard for me. Like, that was really like, even just admitting it here on air, as we call it, even admitting that out loud on air took a lot for me to do that. Maybe like, not saying that I have to put music on the back burner, but like, that's not what's providing for me anymore.
Yeah.
That's not what is soul providing for me anymore. So I have to start walking in the fact that I produce this motherfucker, I create this motherfucker, I host this motherfucker, and that's it, that's all. And that's what my life is right now. And I have to push when you have something that you're trying to push, you have to push it, because if you have your hands and you're looking backwards, you are going to get left in that space, that void of doubt and pressure, because you're not even dealing with what's happening in front of you, you know? So that was like, y'all, like, I was like, my friends was like, well, you gonna talk to me? I was like, no, I need to talk when I can talk in real time and be authentic, because I couldn't talk to nobody the last couple days. Like, I don't want to talk to nobody. Now, I do have one more question. Do you think that guilt or manipulation plays in a part in ending something you no longer serves you?
Yeah, absolutely. Women definitely go through it a lot, as far as like being gaslit, but not realizing that that's happening in the moment, and just I know for me, like, being, when I'm with somebody as a natural nurturer, that them feeling, oh, I'm gonna be without you, I'm gonna be by myself, you're leaving me. And when I was younger, I used to like tug on my heartstrings, like, oh, I'm abandoning them when they need me the most. And at the same time, like, nigga, you causing me so much grief. Like, I can't even really honestly be here for you the way I need to be, because you're causing me so much grief. And so, but of course, looking, hindsight is 20/20. You see that manipulation, and people only do that because they know that that's gonna, get at you, or I mean, now it's really hard to guilt trip me, because me personally, when I am in relationships, whether it's my friendships or relationships, I love so hard and I give so much that when I decide that I'm no longer doing it, it's because you had to really fuck that up. It's not like I'm just double dutching with it and holding it over your head. Oh, if you don't, the one moment you don't make me happy, I'm snatching it back. I'm really giving myself. So the moment that I say I'm done, you can't guilt trip me in that, because baby, it took a lot for me to get there. So for me, now I realize that like guilt doesn't affect me as much because I know who I am and I know what I offer. When you don't know that necessarily and you don't know your power, it's easy to warp, and warp someone's mind around like what they're actually providing for you or whatever.
I don't know. Like it's funny because that question was more so for me because I realized that like I wouldn't say that. I don't know necessarily I do it in my friendships per se, but I definitely was doing it in my relationships. A lot of them, like definitely the guilt, definitely the manipulation, and not manipulation as far as
manipulating
like,
them or they manipulating you.
No, them.
Really? In what
me
way?
them, because it was like okay, so. As a child, I was a middle child, right? And then my brother and my sister would always be like, your mom's favorite, whatever. And my mom did do a lot for me that she didn't do for, my older sister or my brother or whatever. And I played that part. Like, I played that part well. I've created this box and this, this facade. I wouldn't call it a facade because I'm pretty honest and I'm pretty truthful. But I did create this facade that it has to be this perfect picture. Like I have to look a certain way. I have to do things a certain way. I have to get this grade. I have to do this. I have to be a part of this. I have to be on this panel. Like it was a lot of, I guess, trying to hide what, maybe my family wasn't as, like, even though we lived in a good neighborhood, you know what I mean? Like my mom wasn't that. My mom wasn't that. My grandmother was that. My mom wasn't that. So I leaned into that role because it made me easier to float through life. So I kind of used that throughout school and throughout relationships. When it came to relationships, it was always like, well, who are you going to get better than me? I cook, I clean, I'm educated. You can go out there and get whatever you want, but you're not, you know what I mean? Or I would hold something over their head. Like, well, I knew they needed me for this specific thing. So when they made me mad, I would take that thing away.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like I did that. I was guilty of that. And as far as like the guilt it was very much of how could you leave me? I've done all of this for you. You know what I mean? And it's funny because like you always say I'm this kumbaya, but like, it took me a lot to get to be kumbaya because I had to chop up some things that was not right. Like, like even my last relationship, like I know I stayed in that relationship way till because it was convenient for me. Like it was like you're gonna do what I want you to do.
It was a pandemic too, right?
I mean, it was a pandemic, which was still convenient for me. Like, you know what I mean? Like I had a whole other place. I had, my own things going on. I had my friends, but it was still very much of, who are you going to get better than me? I'm this, I'm that. And, and then it was time to like, kind of like break up. You know what I mean? Like we would have broke
really
up.
being manipulative. I'm trying to find the way that you're manipulating it.
Well, it was more so manipulating because we should have broke up a long time ago.
Oh,
we should have. I would say we both showed signs. I wouldn't say he was just showing signs, but we were both showing signs that we weren't truly compatible. Okay. But when I would do it, I knew he would run back to me. When he would do it, I would guilt him. It's like, how are you going to leave me? I did this. You know what I'm saying? Because of that fear. Yeah. Because of that fear of, maybe it was a pandemic. Like, I ain't trying to be out here in these streets by myself. Like, who knows you better than me? You know what I mean? Like, and at that time, there was really nobody that knew him better than me. So he, out of his fear, stayed in a situation that probably wasn't. And out of my fear, it was kind of like
it worked.
I mean, I don't necessarily think that it was bullying.
He was bullied. He was bullied a little bit.
He was bullied. I don't think he was bullied. I don't think he was bullied. But I also think that like we definitely probably should have broke up before we broke up. You know what I mean? And I think we just both decided not just like we're just not going to try.
Even after I broke up, you still ain't really want to let her, because you still had that like who you gonna get better than me, which I get because you are a great woman. You was doing a lot for him during the pandemic.
Well, but that's normal. I feel like the after the fact is a normal thing. Like you break up, you don't know if you're gonna get back together. I don't think that was like, oh well.
Oh, I disagree.
I don't think so. I think it was normal. I think it was a normal, we're going to see what happens. And once I realized it wasn't going to happen, I was like, all right, bye. Like, I'm going to call you. And I told him, I said, this is done. Like, if this is going on, this is going to be done. You'll never see me again. I've never seen him since. So it's just one of those things. So I mean, do you guys have anything else to say? You know, I'd like to leave a message, you know, to our viewers or to your younger selves about having the hard conversations. And so what would be the message you guys would leave?
Be easy on yourself. Don't compare yourself to other lawns. It's not, the grass is not always greener on the other side. You know, we have no idea what people are going through or what they do to make
turf.
A lot of people do have fake turf, and that's okay too.
fake
The fake
turf.
turf looks nice, but I mean, that it doesn't mean that that's your journey. Just because it works for them doesn't mean it works for you. So be easy on yourself. You know, don't feel too envious of what other people are doing on their lawns, because again, the grass is not always green on the other side. But take notes and maybe do different things to figure out what works for you, because there's not only one answer. There's many different answers to make shit float.
Okay.
I would say it's okay to be comfortable, and it's okay to not always be moving a mile a minute, but also don't become too complacent, because then everything else around you will start moving past you, and you will think that you're outgrowing them, and they've been outgrowing you. You don't.
It's okay to outgrow things. We do.
Yeah, definitely.
Things, people.
But some people be like, these people, I'm just outgrowing. I'm like, no, you actually are the one that's people don't resonate with anymore, because you are stagnant. You're not growing. You're not developing. You're not taking accountability, and you think everybody else is just.
We're also changing.
I'm like, no, baby, it's you. You ain't changed.
Yeah, you
that's
have
the
to
problem.
change.
It's probably you need to change.
Yeah, for sure.
So don't stay complacent too long. Again, like you said, take that break. Like you said, don't beat yourself up. Take that mental health breaks. And fuck that job sometimes. Like, so.
I would say also to learn how to check yourself.
Yeah.
Like your people that love you, it's like one of those things, like people can see what's happening and you can't see it. It's like, can you see your face without looking at a mirror? No. Yeah. Like you can't. So I would say learn to check yourself, because I feel like you've lived in your body. You know all your memories. You can tell and divulge whatever information you want to tell to other people, but you know what's up. So take the time to check in with yourself and check yourself.
Accept me because I'm always right.
Bye, girl. Well, that's a
anyway,
wrap,
so-
guys. On that note, we're gonna wrap this up. And if you guys resonate anything that we were talking about, I would definitely, especially on this topic, definitely would love to hear some of your feedback. You'll know where to find us on all platforms. Like, subscribe, share, all the good things. And don't forget to say hi, or if you need somebody to talk to, this is what this is all about, to have the conversations. You can call me. I know you can't call me, but you can email me though.
No, we should do it. We should do an episode one day of us getting some emails or people talking, read the stories. Like,
Can we talk about that after I wrap up?
Bitch, first of all, this is a fucking podcast. You have conversations on a podcast, hoe.
Well, and that's it.
So like I said, y'all can send us stuff if you wanted to talk about stuff and need some advice. Y'all
She
can.
want to do a telethon, y'all. She want to do a telethon.
Like the fuck I said.
1-800 Daz It Daz All. I'll give y'all Breona's number at the end of the show. And that's a wrap, y'all. That's it.
That's all.
Daz It Daz All is written by me, KC Carnage, and produced by myself and Barrio Dill. Associate producer, Bri Coorey. Assistant producer, Larissa Donahoe. Audio and video engineering and studio facilities provided by S.L.A.P Studios LA, with distribution through our collective for social progress and cultural expression, S.L.A.P the Network. If you have any ideas for a show you want to hear or see, please email us at info@slapthepower.com. And as always, go to dazitdazall.com and sign up there to make sure you will never miss a thing. See you next show.